Hi crafty folks, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to make an encouragement card. Now this is the new Plenty of Fish 6x6 stencil from the June release at A Colorful Life Designs. I have a smattering of gorgeous, cool, colored ink pads from Catherine Pooler, and I'm going to tie it all together with my blending brushes and some very simple techniques and create this card here for you that I'm showing you now. Now I am using some vellum, some die cuts, and other components, but it was really simple. Now to start, I'm using my makeshift spinny jig thing here that I've put together. This is basically just a really old spinning cake plate. I used to cake decorate for work many years ago. So I basically put one of those 6x6, no, not 6x6, 8x8 or something like that. One of those sticky mats from the stamp platforms from Altenew. But as you can see, I decided not to use it just because I'm kind of nestled up so close to the edge of the stencil. I figured it'd just be easier to use my magnets on my glass mat here. But basically I'm going to do some simple ink blending with these colors that I chose, and I had it positioned just so because as you can see there's that one single solitary fish with the stripes on it. It's my favorite thing about this whole stencil. There's just one unique fish, and I'm kind of utilizing that because that plays on the theme of my card. As you saw in the photo, I did choose the sentiment that said you are a rare find. So I really wanted to highlight that one single fish that was different than all the rest because it tied in to the theme of the card that I'm putting together. So I am working directly on a card base. This is a 120-pound accent opaque cardstock. It is cut to US A2 size, which is 4¼ by 5½ inches. Now I do decide to take this darkest color and kind of come right up the center of this diagonal strip, and then I do overlay some of the green as well just to kind of get a nice variation color and have kind of a gradient on some of these fish. Now again, I'm really focusing on where that little striped fish is. I want to make sure that's evident in the composition because I want the eye to notice that one fish in particular. Now, just to continue the design onto the inside of the card, I'm just going to do some very light ink blending. Again, I haven't even cleaned the stencil off yet. Just doing some very light-handed residual ink on the brushes and just kind of putting that down on the inside of the card. So next up, I decided I want to go a little bit farther. I didn't like how it kind of cut off on the one bit on the inside of the card. So now I'm figuring out the sentiment. This is my storage solution. I have baseball card pocket protector sheets, and I kind of knew that I wanted this sentiment, so I was kind of going right for that. It says you are a rare find. It is from Concord and Ninth. I'm not sure it's still available. If it is, I will link it below in the video description box. But I have this deckled edge die that I got from Craft Stash, I believe, in the UK, and I used it twice to cut out 2 pieces of vellum because I really want to be able to pop that sentiment and have it stand off the busy background. I want to make sure that it's legible. So I'm just going to kind of offset these 2 pieces of vellum and then put this die cut black sentiment on top of it. Now I am going to use this microdot sheet here. This is Artist Tack. You can see there's a ton of little glue dots. This is a very fiddly die, and the glue oozage from that would drive me bonkers. So the way I'm trying to prevent some of the dots that can get on the front is just by wiping with my hand on that top sheet. And I also grab my adhesive eraser. So this is something I just kind of thought of as I was creating this as a way to kind of prevent any little glue dots from getting on the front of the die cut. Now there may have been a couple still, but that really did help. So that's a pro tip. If you struggle with your microdot sheets and you find that you get glue dots on the front of your die cut, try and do what I just did there because I really think it did help. Now I'm going to put this down on just one piece of the vellum to start, and I have it kind of kicked off at a diagonal because again I'm going to kind of do it all a little bit willy-nilly. You can see there was a couple dots left, but nothing like I would have gotten if I didn't wipe off those extra dots. So it's all it's all relative, right? I mean, there's pros and cons for every sort of adhesive. The liquid glue tends to drive me crazy. Here I'm kind of playing with fire because it could totally ooze out behind those letters, but I wanted to just make sure I had enough glue on there just to adhere that second piece of vellum. Now I am pouncing it off on a little piece of scrap paper to eliminate the risk of oozage, but then that does the trick to kind of hold these 2 pieces down together. So At this point, I decided I want to really accentuate the striped fish even more. So I grabbed a silver glittery gel pen and I just kind of drew some lines on it just to really, again, make it a bit of a focal point. And I feel like if you read the words, the natural eye path is going to take your eyes from the sentiment, hopefully, to that striped fish, because I really want that to be kind of a focal point on the card. Now here, I feel like Laura Basson here with her crazy little super thin popped up dimension. I cut down a strip, which was already thin, into about half the width, and I'm putting it just behind some of the pieces just so I can pop it up and again give even more separation between that sentiment and the busy background. So I'm just cutting the tiniest little slivers. As I'm watching this, I can't even believe I did it because it seems so fiddly. A way around this, if I wasn't lazy, I could have dug out that die and I could have cut the die out of foam and then it would have been an even match right behind it, or I could have cut multiple layers out of like white cardstock or more black cardstock and glued those together and stacked them up, and then I could have created dimension and put that on the back of the vellum just to give it that separation. So those are other options if you don't want to mess with those super little thin fiddly bits. Now here I have a very full corner chomper, which I kind of had to shake out, and I rounded one edge just to give it some visual interest, just stamping my logo on the back. And then last up is to finish it with some card bling. Now this is also from A Colorful Life Designs. There's 12 new colors for June, so there's loads of new stencils and 12 new colors. So be sure to check out the gorgeous new colors of card bling for this month. Depending on when I air this, for the first week of the release, so just June 1st through June 7th, there'll be an extra bundle deal of 20% off the card bling. So if you get it after the 7th of June, then it will be regular price, but you can still use my coupon AmyFan10. Now, if you do jump on this in the first week, again, I'm not sure when I'm going to air this video, so it might already be donezo, but if it's still available, you can use my coupon AmyFan10 on top of that 20% off with the card bling. It doesn't work with the master creator bundles of the stencils, but it does work with the blingage. So be sure to check that out. I'll link everything in the video description box below. If you expand and scroll down, you'll find those links. And again, use my coupon AmyFan10 if you shop and save on your order. So be sure to check out this fabulous June release. I appreciate you spending time with me, and I will catch you next time. Bye.